From the Raleigh Center on the campus of St. Bonaventure University, it's Atlantic 10 men's college basketball as the Richmond Spiders take on the St. Bonaventure Bonnies. Hello everyone, welcome courtside. I'm Brendan McDaniels alongside Jack Milko. We got a great matchup for you this evening. Jack, both teams are on two-game losing streaks in the Atlantic 10. For Richmond, they lost a tough one in overtime, 67-64 to Rhode Island. On the other side for the Bonnies, they lost a heartbreaker on a last-second three-pointer to LaSalle here on Saturday.
Yeah, both teams come to the Riley Center 2-2 in conference play. Richmond has lost to Rhode Island in the extra period, but the biggest loss for the Spiders is that they're without their leading scorer, Delonnie Hunt. He's the leader of this team and is going to be out for another 8 weeks. He had surgery on his fractured foot yesterday.
This is an interesting matchup because both of these teams need a win here in the early going in Atlantic 10 play.
Absolutely do. And ironically enough, both teams started 2-0. And it was not long ago where they were undefeated in A10 play, but whoever loses tonight is going to be under 500 within conference, and you never want to be under 500 at any point in the season, although Richmond overall is 7-10. So a win tonight would go a long way for the Spiders, but the Bonnies hope to right the ship here on their home floor.
Here's Time, working on Council, kicks it out to Neskovic, gets in for the layup.
Neskovic is a great scorer, all three levels, can put the ball on the floor and blow by it or pull up. Here goes Neskovic, just blows by, tries to go up and under. Doesn't make it, but he's heading to the charity stripe where he shoots 86% this season.
Down on the block to Brown, draws the double team. Skip pass over to Council, wide open for three.
Terrific play by Noel Brown to recognize a double team, get the ball out of the low post, back to the wing, and that leaves a wide open Melvin Council in the corner. How about Thompson? Back-to-back possessions on both ends of the floor, gets his feet, he's outside the restricted area. Yep, that's going the other way. There's a good set there from the Bonnies coming out of the timeout. Really worked it around, got the open shot. But as Mark Schmidt likes to say all too often, jump shots are fickle, and that one just didn't fall.
So far, Jack, especially this last 5 minutes, you got to be happy if you're a Bonaventure fan with what you've seen from their team.
Defense, defense, defense. Whatever Mark Schmidt said at the under fourth timeout has really resonated with the starting five that came back out on the floor, locked down defensively. I mean, even on that three-point attempt in the corner a couple possessions ago for Richmond, Melvin Council closed out beautifully, forced the errant shot. Next thing you know, the Bonnies are going back down the floor in transition. And that's what it's going to take to win games in the Atlantic 10 is defense. But I got to say, Brendan, I was surprised that Chris Mooney did not take a timeout there as Richmond came over the timeline with about 50 seconds to go. His team hasn't scored in almost 4 minutes now. And as you just said, with Bonaventure taking the timeout there, it's a use it or lose it. Why wouldn't you take the time out there, reset, try to drop a set, and get a bucket and cut into this deficit?
That one's off the mark. Walls grabs the rebound.
And here's a fun fact about Mike Walls, Brendan. 6'11", 255 pounds, and a scratch golfer.
Wow. It's close to home for you as you follow the PGA Tour.
Absolutely. So as soon as I found that out, I knew I had to drop that reference.
Hinton up ahead. Hinton missed the jam.
Oh, he wanted the Riley Center crowd to go crazy, but you just got to finish those.
Here's Roach for three.
Oh, man, that missed dunk from Hinton hurts for the Bonnies, right? That's a 5-point swing, and what is all of a sudden a 4-point game after the Bonnies led by a dozen at the break.
Council in the lane. Hinton wide open for three.
Hinton's not missing those. Wide open on the wing. That's his 5th three-pointer of the evening. And Hinton now leads all scorers with 19 points.
Wide open for three. That one rolls around the rim. Chance Moore with rebound number 8.
And if you're a young guard or a young player and you want to become a better overall basketball player, or you want to see more time on your team, watch Chance Moore rebound. The way he high points on the defensive end is remarkable.
With 1:07 seconds left, Bonnies fans can breathe a little easier.
Again, not to belabor the point here, but More out rebounding Mike Walls, who's 6'11", just goes to show you not only his athleticism, but his commitment to securing the rebound, which any coach in America would love to see.
I'd say that they went back to playing St. Bonaventure basketball. Defense, rebounding, taking care of the basketball.
They sure did. And, you know, talking to Coach before the game, he emphasized how offenses in the Atlantic 10 are just better. I mean, this is a premier college basketball conference, but that premier Bonaventure defense showed tonight, and that's been a big point of emphasis in practice. So kudos to the Bonnies for getting the job done on the defensive end, holding Richmond to just 49 points. Really well done.
As we wrap it up here from the Riley Center, the important thing for the Bonnies, not only do they snap that 2-game losing streak, but they got back to Mark Schmidt basketball, and he prides the team on making sure your opponent stays under 60 points. And this is a good Richmond team that can put a lot of points on the board. He held them to under 50.
Yeah, really impressive. And even on top of that, Brendan, what they didn't do was give Richmond opportunities like they did against LaSalle. If you recall, they gave up 27 points off turnovers, turned the ball over 14 times. Tonight, the Bonnies only turned it over 6 times. And that's how you win basketball games, is taking care of the rock, not forcing your opponent to get in transition early and often. And they took care of business tonight on their home floor, which is an emphasis throughout every Bonaventure season.
They certainly did, and they've got a tough road coming up, so it's important to get the victory tonight.
It sure is, because road games against Duquesne looming, a rivalry game. Even though Duquesne is not that strong of a team this year, you never know what happens in rivalry games, let alone conference games, especially against Bonaventure's most matched up opponent historically.
Well, we mentioned George Mason and Dayton are coming up for the Bonnies. So for Jack Milko, I'm Brendan McDaniel saying so long from the Raleigh Center.